That's a great transition, Jesse. That's our next topic is, him bringing up the Metroid Prime Trilogy being done and supposedly supposed to be announced in December. That seems more likely to be out this year now than Metroid Prime 4, right? We thought it was going to be their big February game. Wasn't announced, wasn't happening. We thought it was going to be a Bayonetta 1 and 2 situation. But that actually puts us in a curious place of where do we put Metroid Prime Trilogy this year, if and when it's announced and done and coming, right?
Mm-hmm. I think yes, everybody. Once again, me and Corey had the discussion. I first said that, with Prime 4 not coming this year, Trilogy could fill it. But then I asked a different question, which is like, I think there's another game that could fill that void beside Trilogy. And that's probably where the compliment and tentpole question came up. Because now I feel like, do you also push Trilogy to next year? Does it need to be out this year?
Well,
or anything?
I mean, here's the thing. For Metroid Prime Trilogy specifically, look, Bayonetta 1 and 2, those games are fairly short, right? Mm-hmm. And Bayonetta 3 did not come out the same year as Collection, right? So, I mean, that gives you a cool little holdover, and you get your fill of that game, and then you move on to the rest of the games, right? I think if this game's not coming out till 2021, maybe they put this out next February.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is like, I would really like to play it now. That way because first of all, it takes me a while to finish games if I finish them at all because I'm too busy doing other stuff or playing Destiny again because I got sucked in real hard. That's a different story. But I think if you want to get people hyped for this announcement, I think you put it out this year, the first half of this year, to make goodwill on the pushback, right? You put it out as goodwill to show, hey, look, we are sorry about Metroid Prime 4. We're trying to do it right. Here's the original collection for Switch. And I honestly think it takes that May spot that I predicted Fire Emblem took.
See, I'm going to fight you for that with the Fire Emblem.
Here it comes.
Keep Fire Emblem in May. I think put Trilogy in December.
No, I wouldn't put it out that late.
I will put Trilogy in December because you don't have nothing for December that everybody will expect. So
right now we don't have anything for December.
We expect, yeah. But so right now, where December is more of a open, where nobody, because like December is kind of a month that we don't really worry about games because it's Christmas. People are still getting stuff throughout the whole year, ready for Christmas gift. I think to hold folks over, you get them. You give them Trilogy in December, and I say add some game. I say add Metroid Fusion and Zero to it. Add some extra, like really add some extra stuff to this Trilogy.
That's a different thing. We're gonna have a different conversation about other Metroid projects, right? Because that was one thing. Is some people are thinking Nintendo is rumored to be working on other Metroid projects. Yes. And there is a possibility that the Game Boy Advance games are going to be bundled with the 3DS one that just came out as a handheld collection.
Samus Return?
Yeah, as a handheld collection. So,
well, and what I was thinking too is I'm kind of with you, Corey. I do think it's going to come out sooner if it does this year, but I'm the only reason I'm thinking that is because we've kind of been waiting for a direct lately and we haven't gotten one yet. So does that mean maybe that they're completely redoing that direct and because of this now they're gonna focus on the trilogy in the direct versus what they were gonna talk about was Prime 4 a little bit.
That's exactly what I'm thinking, Jesse, is they didn't have a January Direct because they knew this was happening with Retro. They wanted
So they put out the indie highlight.
Yeah, so they put out the indie highlight, and I bet we get one within the first 2 weeks of February. They're retooling it. They're kind of, I mean, I'm sure they've been talking about this for years at this point, but like repositioning their 2019 lineup, right, where they can get the most out of it, and now they're like, well, how do we position Metroid in here? Do we put it out in the fall? Do we put it out in the beginning? Do we make Goodwill? I think what you're going to see is a similar type video from Reggie or Bill or something, right? And
well, from what they did at the Nintendo store.
I mean you're going to see that, but I mean like the Direct opens with like either Reggie or Bill or I always forget the guy that does the Japanese man who does the
Takashi.
Yeah, Takashi. Open up with this announcement, be like, hey, they address the video that they put out already, and they're like, we're moving Metroid Prime 4 to Retro Studios, and you just see the Metroid Prime 4 logo with the Retro Studios logo on one kind of still image, and they're going to announce the Metroid Prime Trilogy collection that way, and be like, maybe it doesn't open up with that, but that's like the first main segment, because they always open up with something that hasn't been announced or something weird like that, right? So
yeah.
I think that's what's going to happen, and then they're going to transition into their spring/summer lineup.
So unless we get some stuff that's already set for 3DS, because Nintendo still plan to support it,
bring the last Mario and Luigi game over. Partners in Time is the only one they haven't brought over.
I think the only thing they will probably do is that if they're not reshooting the Direct, but they're probably doing over voiceovers. They'll probably be doing those. They're probably doing graphics for new dates for it, and then probably editing the Direct over again, because that'll be the only way that I know, and that's why I feel like Metroid Prime Trilogy being out in December, it wouldn't make sense to put it in this Direct because of Metroid Prime 4 decision being moved. So I think maybe E3 or maybe fall Direct or a surprise Direct or something.
Do you think they could announce it this Direct, and then at the E3 Direct they give it a release date? Because if they decide to put the trilogy out this fall, like that could be their August, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of, what do we say would be September? Animal Crossing would be September, Luigi's Mansion October, Pokemon November.
Yes.
So, I mean,
and that's why I said trilogy for December, because of nothing fitting. I agree with you, Corey. Doing it as a blurb this Direct, go a little bit more in detail for E3, and then bam, give us that announce date so that everybody now could be like, okay, it's coming out whenever month it is coming out. We could get ready and plan for this, because everybody gonna be like, okay, if y'all gonna do this trilogy, HD remake, we want a collection for it.
Mm-hmm.
We want some Joy-Cons that go. Like, people are expecting, if you're going to do this trilogy, you're going to need to come big with it to make it up for Prime 4 being done.
You don't need to come out big. You just need to make sure you have the goodwill of the people, because Metroid Prime 4 is a big title for them, right? I think they're kind of positioning that as a tentpole thing. I think maybe you just address it and say, hey, look, we are bringing the Metroid Prime trilogy. We don't have anything else to announce at this time, because I mean, what if they make like a trilogy collector's edition with like a special amiibo or something? I could see them really doing that,
and that's what people will be hoping for.
That'll be like their goodwill move. Is like, we have the trilogy, it's $60. If you pre-order it or something, you get the amiibo with it, that kind of thing.
Yes.
Some sort of, like, even if they redid the steelbook case like they did for the Wii version, right? Like if they just had like a steelbook.
Yes. I say release some like Metroid Prime or Silver theme kind of Joy-Cons with it, like, or a Pro controller. Because I now wonder
I think
if
a Pro controller would be cool, because we've got all the Joy-Cons, right? They can't package a yellow and a red Joy-Con together, right? That would be too, I mean, on the nose almost. I mean, I guess they could, but like, I would see that more as like a special edition Switch for Metroid Prime 4. As like, you know, they have a Metroid themed Switch come out with the Joy-Cons or whatever. And by then, like that, if they if they revise the Switch at all, like that could be the way they sell a revised Switch too. Is like, hey, we have the Metroid whatever special edition whatever.
Because I wonder if they're gonna retool Corruption and Prime 4 to fit Pro Controller and Joy-Con.
You mean 3?
Corruption is 3.
2 and 3.
Yeah.
You said 3 and 4, so.
But three and 4 is because Prime 4. We don't know if it's going to be just straight Joy-Con, but if they're going to make it Joy-Con and Pro Controller. So with 3, with Corruption being only remote, they could probably reprogram it so that it fits the Joy-Con and fit the Pro Controller. That's why I said 4.
My thing is, I want them to retool all the games and have them have dual joystick support instead of like, because like, look, Metroid Prime's a great game, but like controlling Samus with one joystick is very old way of thinking, right? Like, it's very GoldenEye, very Perfect Dark, and
Resident Evil 4.
You know what?
Resident Evil 4 is the other good example, Jesse. I'm not kidding. Like, I want that camera control on the right stick.
I would not get into that. I have my thoughts. We have our discussions. Go check out AX.
Ed's basically stuck in 1997, guys. It's fine. He wants to live at the arcade.
Hold on, because because this is the thing. Retool the GameCube demo of Metroid Prime and use that method and get it out.
Yeah.
To get a feeling of they're going to do dual sticks. If you want to test out that theory gameplay. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I know.
But don't touch my Resident Evil 4. I'm just saying.
Yeah. This other story from there was another thing posted by Nintendo Life today that said Metroid Prime Trilogy for Nintendo Switch is ready to be released. It's been long done. The initial announcement of the Trilogy Collection was supposed to happen last month, but not necessarily at the Game Awards, which why wouldn't you announce at the Game Awards? Over on Reset Era, Game Informer editor Imran Khan said Metroid Prime 4's development reset is likely to alter Nintendo's schedule and mentioned how there was more, quote, Metroid stuff in the pipeline to anticipate, not just the trilogy. So, I mean,